Hi, it's really cold today. I just want to tell you about an experience that I had recently, and it was really interesting. So, you know how in the Bible it says to not eat, the Old Testament law says to not eat any pork. Pork is an unclean animal. And then somewhere in the New Testament, we've been told to believe that pork is okay. Like Jesus said that it's okay, but I don't think he actually said that. And I was watching a video about Kay Podgee, and she goes in depth about this, and even has a clip from another guy explaining how pork is just an unclean animal. First of all, they don't sweat, they can't look up, you can't bleed them out. Like most animals, you bleed them out, like chickens, turkeys, bulls, like they bleed out when you cut their necks, right? And that you're supposed to do that for the meat. You can't do that with pork. Also, I'm reading again Mark 5, the Gerasene demoniac, and where did the demons ask Jesus to be sent to? It says the demons implored him, saying, "Send us to the swine so that we may enter them." And Jesus gave them permission to go into a herd of swine. Well, yesterday, not 2 nights ago, my parents had given us a couple of things from their fridge, and we had some bacon. And my husband was like, "Why don't we make breakfast burritos for dinner?" And it was eggs and bacon and, tortillas. And I'm just like, I haven't really had pork in a while because I've just been kind of weird about pork and I've just avoided it. I did have ham the other day, but for the most part, again, given to me by my parents. So obviously I talked to them about pork and not buying it and how we shouldn't eat pork. So, anyways, I'm like skeptical and I'm like, whatever, but we fry up a couple strips of bacon and there's some left over, which I end up tossing out, and I'll explain why. So we eat, whatever, we get ready for bed at the end of the day, and then we both have a terrible night. Like we both are just tossing and turning. My husband wakes up covered in sweat, and I'm like, "You're sweating like a pig." And I was like, just feeling so uneasy. And mind you, before going to bed, that's when I saw the Kay Podgee video about pork and how we shouldn't eat it. And then I was immediately feeling bad, and I was debating on throwing up, like making myself, because I was already feeling pretty gross. Like, you know how after you eat a meal, you feel kind of full, and like, it's like that, like kind of full feeling, maybe overly full. But this was beyond that. This was like a really like uncomfortable, and like, I don't even think that Tums would have helped. And, anyways, we just have a terrible night, and I have really strange dreams. And I'm just thinking about, just the awful how pigs are raised, even is terrible. So, anyways, at one point, it's probably like 3 in the morning, and I tell my husband, like, it was a bacon. Like, the reason why we're having an awful night and you're like waking up drenching in sweat is because of the bacon. And I was like, I knew we shouldn't have eaten it. I don't know why. I like permitted it or whatever. So, lesson learned, right? Bacon is not good. And yeah, I still feel gross. It's been 2 days. And so, and the next morning, all I ate was vegetables, and now I'm fasting. So, and I'm just repenting. I'm just repenting because the Lord asks us to not do these things. And like, I know Jesus fulfills the laws, but we still, like, the Sabbath is still Saturday. Pork is still unclean. Like, these things still don't change. Like, I know where in the Bible Jesus said, "Oh, Sabbath is on Sunday and pork is okay." That's just some other things that they're doing. It they're trying to make us, I really think, like, honestly, I really do think that some of these translations try to make us think that, think a certain way. It's man-made doctrine, though. It's not from God. So take that if you want. I'm just saying, look into it. Look up the Kay Podgee video about pork, eating pigs. I didn't even watch the whole thing. I was starting to get grossed out and just instantly, regretting eating bacon. So, yeah.